We are Steve and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Jack and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun.
Today's Jack Thursday. I'm going to talk about confidence. I mentioned yesterday that I don't think this topic gets enough attention, and I think that it's it's an underrated topic that needs to be talked about more often than it should. And I came up with this concept because we just got done with Career Path, Jill and I, for last year. Mm-hmm. And the last
December.
group of Career Path people, it was pretty clear which ones had confidence and which ones didn't. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very interesting to hear everybody's stories and how they present their land acquisition stories in Career Path and see how confident they are. Mm-hmm. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free, and please don't forget to subscribe on the Land Academy YouTube channel. Comment on the shows you like.
Evan wrote, when sending neighbor letters to find a buyer for my property, has anyone found it more effective to set filters on who receives a letter? For example, I could send 1,000 letters to all the property owners within a 2-mile radius of my property. Or I could send 1,000 letters to everyone that owns 2 or more parcels of land within a 10-mile radius. I'd love to hear opinions on this. It's a good question.
I would do both, because let's do the math. 1,000 letters to everybody in a 2-mile radius, that's $500. Mm-hmm. 1,000 letters to everybody who owns 2 or more properties in a 10-mile radius, yes, do that too. So now you're spending $1,000, marketing expense, let's call it, to reach, thousands and thousands and thousands of people who already own real estate surrounding the property that you have. Yeah.
$1,000 to reach 2,000 people who are likely buyers.
Very, very logical buyers.
I agree with this.
I've never, ever, stop me if I'm wrong here, or if you've heard this, but I've never, ever had anyone in Land Academy or anyone else come to me and say, yeah, this neighbor letter thing
is stupid.
It doesn't work. And I must have missed it because I didn't get any response. No, everybody's going to respond. Uh-huh. The amount of response that you're going to get in that little community because you have a property that's for sale and it's undervalued.
Right.
Everybody wants to know what their property's worth. They want to talk about it.
Or you're also going to drum up buyers.
Yep.
That often happens too. Like, I don't want to sell. I mean, or I'm not interested in this one, but what else do you have over here? Now I know how you roll, that kind of a thing. That happens on the sell side too, or with our regular mails too.
Right.
I love it.
Today's Jack Thursday. I'm going to talk about confidence. This is why you're listening. Confidence really is a huge indicator about how successful you're going to be at just about anything in life. And I think that it's something that you can develop. I don't think you're necessarily born with it. I think that from a really early, obviously there's nature nurture to everything, but I really believe that if you're going to work on yourself, let's say.
Let's talk more about that.
And I know Jill loves this topic. I think most women love this topic.
Please tell me. Okay, finish your sentence and I want to ask some questions, please.
You know what we should do? We should spend about 8 hours a week working on our relationship together.
I want to.
And another 8 hours working on ourselves.
Please tell me.
And then we can file bankruptcy.
Please tell me, Jack, what are you doing working on yourself right now? I would like to know. I'm sure Jill spends 8 hours, Jack spends 8 minutes. I get new face cream. You're like, maybe I'll cut my nails today. Maybe I won't.
Yep, probably not.
Exactly. Eventually they break and it works out fine.
I think that if somebody's calling you to sell their land and you have a real sense of confidence, I'm not saying cocky. I'm not saying that at all. I just mean confidence about your pricing, confidence of the real estate, and a little bit of a basic knowledge of the area where you're sending property. You know what comparison values are, and you know that water property and waterfront property is more valuable than not, and just basic stuff. And you're presenting yourself in a way that is confident will dramatically increase your success percentages on a mailer. Right. And that goes with everything. What I found after we started Land Academy in 2014 and 15, there's a lot of confident people that join this group.
Oh gosh, yes.
Because I think confident people are, whatever the motivation is to join this group, aside from getting rich, like we talked about earlier, they're confident people don't want to work for somebody else their entire life. And
that's very true.
They also don't want to be told what to do in their relationship.
That's for sure.
I think I would go so far as to say there is no replacement for confidence. And this is why I brought up working on yourself, because I'm sure, I haven't looked, but I'm sure if you Google how to be more confident, there's going to be all kinds of classes you can take and groups you can join and books you can read, or however you become a better person as you go through your life. Confidence should be at the top of the list.
How would you become a better person, Jack?
Jill, I'll let you answer that for me.
Because I will. Here's what's going to happen.
It doesn't involve toenails.
You're going to be a better person right now, and here's why. Just kidding. No, what's funny though? I'm thinking about confidence, and one of the things, this comes up often when I'm working with people and they're getting ready for the phone to ring, right? Everything they've done up to that point, they haven't had to talk to anybody, really work, they follow the steps, joining Land Academy, the mail goes out, and now calls are going to come back like, I don't know this area, I don't know this, I don't know that, I don't own anything yet, I've never done this before. That's like the first big time that I experience people like, Jill, I need help with confidence on this. I'm like, okay, so here's what you do. You need to have practice. Just do practice with your friend, practice with whoever, seller phone calls, and know what questions you need to ask and what information you need to get. That will help you be more comfortable, and that will give you the confidence that you need. So what do you do real quick? In Land Academy, it's in your program material, or if you just go on landinvestors.com, I think it's on the left-hand side if you scroll down. I still think it's on there on our website. You can have a sheet. It's Jill's inbound seller checklist. Print that out and have that seriously on your desk, or however you want to do it. People have made it all automated, made it fancy before, and made where it just goes into Airtable for themselves. You don't have to do all that. But just that list of questions right there will help your confidence right away. If okay, I need to get their name, check. Contact information, check. Do they like offer price? Okay, well, things to ask about the property, that kind of a thing. That helps right there. So
what you don't want to have is a false sense of confidence.
That's true.
Knowing
that's cocky.
Knowing the subject material, like Jill just said, is really the fastest way to get confident on anything.
Right.
And then maybe sharpening,
and then just do it.
Voice intonation in your speech and how you talk on the phone, and a lot of that, which you can learn on the internet fairly quickly, and find somebody who is a great example that you can kind of follow. Mm-hmm. One of the first things you do before you get a YouTube channel is they tell you to find somebody out there who's a celebrity, or maybe somebody in your life that you want to follow, and you want to sound like them and come off like that. And that's.
I never read that. That's funny. You were the first time I'd ever heard that.
Well, it worked for me. I love Tim Allen. I just think he makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. And so what ends up happening with a false sense of confidence, and I don't know where this comes from, is you don't know the material, and you start spewing all this stuff like you do know the material, and what you're really doing is regurgitating what somebody said a few minutes ago in a different environment. We have direct experience with this right now, because there's a handful of people that over the years have copied the entire Land Academy program and recreated it for themselves with their own names and their own stuff, and word for word.
Oh yeah.
Copied it all, and then they're out there hawking it with the false sense of confidence. They've done about 5 real estate transactions in their entire lives.
5 minutes and 5 deals, and you too are a pro.
So, and we're addressing that, how we think that's appropriate.
Yeah. That's
we'll leave that at that.
Exactly.
All kidding aside, confidence is really important for everything. Like I said yesterday, starting with attracting somebody else, whatever that means to you, who's got the same level of confidence you have, and then growing together. Like I said, I couldn't get a girl like Jill if I didn't have at least some confidence or at least like fooled her long enough so that she thought I had a sense of confidence.
Fell for it. You know what the thing, I'm going to end it on this for me is the nature part of me. There's nature and nurture, right? So nurtures get the checklist out and practice and gain confidence. But there's a lot of you in Land Academy, like you're an 8 on the Enneagram test, or I'm a 7, maybe you're like me. And you naturally just go for stuff. You're not afraid of it. You're not afraid of making mistakes. And that for me is beautiful. I love that. There's a healthy people in our community that are like that. They're like, okay, what do I do? Great. I just do that. And and if you don't have it too, you can follow our steps, put your head down, and we'll guide you. So
yep.
lots of ways to do this. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week. You can find us here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow's Jill Friday. She's going to talk about how to qualify a real seller. How to qualify a real seller in a minute or less. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
I want to make a comment here about what's coming up this month. This is January 2023, and you asked for it. We listened. We are changing the format of our podcast. It's going to be longer. We're going to get to go more in depth on some of these topics, and it's going to be a once a week thing. So we could do some more deep diving into it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So stay tuned. That's going to be changing over here quickly. We're Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.